I'm Jill.
And I'm Kayla.
We are
I Wanna Wear Your Skin.
Hello, friends.
And we are here to do a bonus episode of My Stepmother is an Alien with Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger.
Fuck yes!
Fuck yes. So thank you so much for being Patreon subscribers and donors. Y'all are fucking radical. And
we love you.
Help make a lot of projects possible. So we're excited to be able to bring you bonus videos and movies that can be good or bad. So
this one was good.
It was super good. Yeah, this was a great Goodwill find, Jill. You found it at the...
I found it at the Goodwill bins.
Oh, nice.
And it was, it was still sealed. We did an unboxing for the Facebook Live. Which
Very fun.
And
dust flew out.
So I'm pretty sure we opened up some sort of a portal.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, please send us suggestions. We are more than happy to watch any great or terrible movie that you love or would like to listen to us review. So.
But, this was the one that I found. And neither of us had ever seen it. And then I think we know what the next one is going to be. But, yeah, suggestions are... We'd love it. Please email us.
Do it.
About anything.
Yeah. I want to wear your skin at yahoo.com.
Love it. Okay, so this movie was made in 1988. Kayla, tell us what it's about.
Absolutely. Dan Aykroyd explores the possibilities of a very modern marriage when Kim Basinger orbits into his world in My Stepmother is an Alien.
Okay. Oh, is there more?
There's so much more. I'm sorry. Basinger stars as Celeste, a sexy extraterrestrial with a mission, seduce the sweetly unsuspecting Steve Mills Aykroyd, a recently widowed astrophysicist, and get her hands on his research, which may hold the key to saving her planet.
Very true. All true.
All true. Also a paragraph long.
God. It is a star-studded cast.
Holy shit, yeah.
We've got...
Ridley?
We've got Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger, obviously.
You are not the star.
The daughter is Allison Hannigan.
Yes.
Obviously, Willow from Buffy. What did you say? How I Met Your Mother or something?
American Pie. But yes, also How I Met Your Mother. I hate that show, but Brian loves it, so he'd be happy for a shout-out for
I don't think I could watch it, but...
It's terrible.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna be eating pizza this whole time, because, have you met me?
I know, it's past your dinner time.
Seth Green, Allison Hannigan and Seth Green go on a date in this movie, which is so cute, because they are also in love in Buffy.
And Seth Green, we know, is a little guy, but, oh my god, is he a little boy.
12 in this movie.
Yeah.
And he is so cute, and he has braces, and he's like this confident little tiny kid. Oh my god, they're so fucking adorable.
It's perfect. It's really perfect.
I love it.
John, did we mention John Lovitz?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously
the brother.
League of Their Own is probably, I think, the one that everyone's seen, but obviously huge 80s and 90s, physical comedian and just, raunch humor.
I always loved his really uncomfortable role on Friends. The, definitely coked out, t-shirt salesman or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a fucking gem. He's a gem.
I think he shows up on News Radio, which I fucking love that show.
Yeah, and obviously his SNL stuff, too. No, yeah, you're gonna stay down, Ridley. Yeah, I know.
We've got 3 dogs, folks.
It's past your dinner time.
3 dogs.
Yeah, and we're doing a long day where we recorded an episode earlier today, and, Ridley's just is that my food? Give me food.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, everyone's hungry.
Extra treats. I know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad mom.
Is there anyone else of note?
No. I mean, but that is a huge star-studded.
Juliette Lewis, it's her film debut.
Yes. And she's adorable. She's like a little teenager.
I don't think she has any speaking lines.
No, she doesn't. She's Allison Hannigan's, teen friend. So, I mean, yeah, she couldn't be more than 16 years old in this role. Yeah, itty-bitty lady.
That's about it. Everyone else is, has probably been in a bunch of shit, but...
Yeah, we're gonna list fucking Dan Aykroyd's entire I mean, yeah, Blues
You know
Brothers,
who Dan Aykroyd
Ghostbusters.
is.
Yeah, like what do you want us to
If
say?
you don't, maybe you're an alien.
Yeah, you might be from Kim Basinger's planet.
Okay, so it starts, and Dan Aykroyd is an astronomer.
Something, a scientist, an astrophysicist.
That's right.
is
He's an
what
astrophysicist. And he's trying to make contact with space. He's trying to go 92 light years away, right?
Yeah.
And like he only has this short period of time to be able to send this signal with a satellite so that it can travel 92 years forward and then 92 years back to them. And it's very chaotic. There's a lightning storm. He's at the lab. Everyone's frantic. And they, like, send the signal. There's all this energy created by the satellite. The lightning comes in. Everything, like, comes together. And then on his screen, he sees that... Or John Lovitz, I think, is in the room with something, right?
Yeah, because John Lovitz, like, runs the business side of this lab, and his brother is, like, the brains of the lab. So, like, they're two very different people, despite them being brothers.
Yeah. But they make contact, and they see that on their screen, that it has made contact with this planet. But then, because of all this commotion and energy, the screens catch on fire and break. And so he has no evidence that he's made contact, but he saw that he did.
Yeah. And
because the lab is kind of destroyed, he gets fired.
On the fucking spot.
Yeah. So he's obviously super bummed, but also, like, stoked that he made contact. So it's, like, you know, a lot of emotions all at once.
Yeah.
And he goes home, and he's with his daughter, Allison Hannigan, whose name is Jessie in the movie. And they're just kind of talking, and she is a really, like, happy-go-lucky kid, and it's, like, they reveal that his wife, her mother, has died, like, 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And she's like, when are you gonna get out and find love again? He's like, I don't think I'll ever find anyone like your mother. And then the next day, she's in the kitchen, she's like, Dad, do you notice anything different about me?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And she's like, I'm wearing a bra.
And he's like, but you're only 13. And he's like, oh my God, you're 13.
Yeah.
Where has all the time gone? And he doesn't make any shitty comments, which is, like, super cool. And they're getting ready for a party at his brother's beach house. After he, like, tells his daughter, he's like, look, I got fired. I'm probably gonna have to go back to teaching.
Oh, yeah.
And
she offers to get a job.
Yeah, it's so cute. And, like,
they're so cute.
Their house is, like, neurotically messy. Like, obviously, that's, like, not his strong suit. But it's, like, it's not messy in, like, a dirty way. It's just messy in, like, a...
Virgo kind of way.
Yeah, so, like, he gets, like, his last pair of clean socks, like, out of the oven because they were in their drying sort of thing. Like, it's really cute. And, like, their dynamic is obvious that they're close. They have a really solid relationship. And they go to this party, and Jill and I are both like, why are there kids there? But, like, because it's a very adult party.
It seems like there's adults, like, getting wasted, and yet he brings his, like, teenage daughter.
Yeah, I mean, it is her uncle's house, but, like, it's just like, oh, maybe
they're not even in, like, another room with kids. Like, they're all just out in the living room, like...
And the funny thing is that, like, her and, like, her teenage friends are there, and they're kind of playing, like, waiters and waitresses, and, like, walking around hors d'oeuvres and stuff, and people are fucking blasted and smoking cigarettes and, like, dancing. It's like... Okay, cool. So meanwhile, we see the spaceship just zooming through space, and we see, like, silhouettes of Kim Basinger, like, putting on pantyhose, like, putting on a red dress, putting on lipstick, and, her and this other person,
voice.
Yeah, female voice, and they're talking about how, like, the mission is to save their planet because their planet was damaged by this transmission, and the only way to fix it is by getting the transmission to hit their planet again. Not explained how or why. That's fine. We don't care. We're not
astrophysicists.
This is a movie. This is an entertainment movie. And that this voice, that this disembodied voice, is essentially like an Earth expert and will be coaching Kim on how to act like a human being through her stay there.
As a bag.
As a bag, and she's gonna be like in the bag. So the spaceship drops off Kim and the bag on the beach, in a very, I mean, like, it's hard to tell because, like, I don't know 80s fashion. Like, at the time, it just looked like a quirky 80s dress, but I guess for the 80s, it was severely quirky.
Yeah.
And, like, she goes into the party, and John Lovitz opens the door, and he's like, va va boom.
Well, and on her way over, she's like, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about Earth in 20 minutes. And she basically just learns a bunch of, like, pop culture references. And so she walks into the party, and she just starts, like, spouting them off. Like, I can't even, like, think of any at this point.
Well, she fucks up Pink Floyd by calling it Pink Fred. She sings the Popeye spinach song.
She asks for spinach for her hands because her hands are cold, and then sings the Popeye song.
Yeah, then she just backflips.
She smokes a carrot.
Yeah, she lights a carrot and tries to smoke it.
And she eats a cigarette off of the ashtray because she thinks it's an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah.
So she's just like, she comes in like a whirlwind, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this? And, she goes to Steve, and she's like, hey, can you tell me about the composition of your laser beam? And he's like, what are you, what are you talking about? And then she kind of is like, I have to go, and like goes outside, and he follows her because he's like, she's fucking interesting. And she asks him again, and like shows that she actually knows what she's talking about, and they have this whole conversation, and asks about contact. She's like, have you made contact with another planet in the last day or so? And he's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he doesn't even really know what his transmission did. Like,
Right.
He just thinks that he just sent out, like, this beam of information into space, and he's hoping an alien life form would see it and, like, try and initiate contact. Like, he doesn't realize that he's done anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just beyond his comprehension. So he's just like, what?
And Jessie, the kid, is like watching them have a moment.
Yeah, and she's excited. She's not like, I think she's just more like flabbergasted that her dad is having a moment, because obviously, like, Kim doesn't know how to behave like a human, so like she's cold. So she sticks her hands down his pants.
Oh, that's right.
And he, like, raises his hands to, like, signify that he's not trying to be a creep and get handsy, and, like, trying to awkwardly, like, carry on this conversation with her. And he's, like, very gentlemanly. But then, like, through more frenetic trying to be human energy, she heads inside. And she approaches Allison, and she's like, I'm obviously not wearing appropriate clothes. Like, can you please show me the right clothes that I should be wearing? And Allison gives her, like, a Vogue magazine and a newspaper, and she makes her friend purse eat it. And then out pops a new dress.
Yep.
And she, like, goes back outside to Dan. He's like, I got a good dress now. I'm going to change right here. He's like,
Maybe somewhere else. We could change somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe, I don't know, like the back of my car?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, whatever, that sounds good. So they get in his car, and he starts driving to the lab. He leaves his daughter at the party, which granted it's her uncle's house, but it just seems, he didn't even like tell her that he was
weird.
leaving. It's a little weird that he's just like, bye. But
He's
Is he under the couch?
He's army crawling under the couch. Yeah. He's
all right.
yeah.
But so she changes in the back of the car. They get to the lab, and he's like, yeah, I mean, we can't, like, get in. I got fired. She's like, let's just try. So they go, and the security guard's like, yeah, you're not allowed in here. And she's like, well, I am the ambassador for whatever. And he's like, do you have ID? She's like, right, yep. And her purse starts, like, jiggling, and she's, like, trying to keep it cool. And then out pops, like, multiples of various identifications, and one of them is the one that he's looking for. He's like, all right, I guess you can go up there. And what's funny is before you were watching this, I was telling Caleb that I was listening to and that's why we drink. And they were talking about Project Pegasus, which was headed by DARPA, which is the Department of like, I don't know, I don't know.
Alien research stuff.
Yeah. And that's how she gets in. Like, that's her ID, which is just funny that I'd never heard that before. And then, of course, this movie is, like, talking about it.
It makes you wonder if that's, like, if the writer of this or director or whatever was, like, in the loop with the Pegasus theory, and then was a nod to it, or...
Project Pegasus, I believe, was, like, started in the 70s, so it would have only been, like, 10 years old or something. And, like, DARPA itself is, like, a well-known... It's part of the government. Like, it's not, like, a secret organization or anything.
I guess that's true.
So anyway, they get in. They, like, go up to the office. She... Basically, like, the bag thinks that he's lying when he says that he has no idea, like, how he made contact or anything like that. And thinks that, like, he was doing it on purpose. And so that's kind of the purpose of their mission, is to get him to make contact again. And they get up there, and it kind of seems obvious that, like, he doesn't really know what he's doing. And this is where the movie starts really understanding consent, and it's super tight. Like,
it's really cool, especially from an 80s movie where we constantly see, like, consent either not being in the picture or a joke.
Yeah, and he's just genuinely, like, she kind of seems into him, especially after having put her hands in his pants, and, which doesn't mean that anyone deserves anything, just that does kind of indicate that maybe you're interested.
Like, oh, okay. Maybe you like me.
And so he's like, would it be okay if I kissed you? Like, I've wanted to kiss you since I met you. I think you're intelligent and beautiful and amazing. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what that is, but, like, that sounds fine. And so the bag, like, while he's about to kiss her,
it's like owning a mogwai when he's hungry, you know? It's just like, it's like he turns into a gremlin when he doesn't have food.
That's so funny.
I know, baby. You're hungry and you're very impatient about it.
We are so close to being done with this
Lay
day.
down. I know, baby. Lay down.
But the bag starts projecting videos of, like, what kissing looks like and what it is, and so she starts, like, reenacting these scenes that she sees.
Yeah, and it's like, it's because also, I don't think we mentioned this, but the bag's personality is now also, like, an alien tentacle eye that pops out of the bag and, like, interacts. But on the screen, it's showing cartoons, Marilyn Monroe, 50s movies of pecking. Yeah, birds mating dances, lions licking each other, and, like, watching Kim Basinger go through the physical comedy of each one.
It's really good.
It's great.
Though
and it
I
goes
will
on
say,
forever.
it went on a little too long.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of that rule of 3 where, like, they went to a 4.
Yeah,
like,
and
all right.
there was a few different scenes. Like, later, their first sex scene when she came out of the bathroom, I felt like that went on for crazy
was a little bit long.
So, like, it's I feel like that, like, awkward humor kind of had made a bigger, like, had a bigger stronghold in, like, more recent entertainment, and this was kind of like the earliest one where I can be like, oh, this just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. So that happens, they kiss, and then he's like, hey, I'll take you home. She's like, that's way too far. Let's go to your place. He's like, are you really?
Yeah, like,
Okay. And she's like, yep. So then they go. She kind of, like, has a conversation with the bag in the meantime and is like, yeah, he doesn't really know, like, how it happened. And the bag's like, yeah, he's lying. And says, government types on this planet are trained to lie. Then she's like, yeah, he, like, shows her his house. He shows her his daughter. She's asleep in the bed. I don't know how she got home, but whatever. And then they're, like, right by his bedroom and the stairs, and he's, like, ready to go downstairs because he's, like, not insinuating anything. And she's like, well, let's just go in there. And he's like, is that what you want to do?
Yeah,
she's like, do you want to? He's like, I mean, fuck yes.
Yeah.
And they start going in there. He's like, you know, if we go in here, like, I going to want to have sex? Like, do you
Yeah.
want to do that? And she's like, yeah, as long as I figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Which, again, is him showing that, like, he's making sure she's consenting to what he would like to do in this room.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like, I mean, I can't even think of movies now where people be like, can I kiss you?
Right.
Like, do you want to come in? Like,
Yeah.
do you want to come into my bedroom? Like,
Right.
I want to have sex. Do you want to have sex?
Right.
Like that doesn't exist now. Like,
No.
I really can't think of too many.
There's
other
no,
times.
like, yeah, I can't think of a time where someone's offered, like, I would like to have sex if we go into this room. If you don't, like, can we deal with that now as opposed to, like,
Yeah.
not talking about it?
Right.
Like, let's make sure we're both on the same page. So then she goes into the bathroom with the bag and tries to learn about sex, and the bag offers her some questionable porn.
Yeah. It is like Denise Does Dallas, so that's a gangbang where Denise fucks all of the Dallas Cowboys, and like pops out a hustler, and finally like shows like an intro of a porn, just like a
Which that was
dude
one that
and
they
a
made
lady.
for the movie I saw. Like, there's an actress, like, that
Oh,
was their
okay.
own, like, porn intro.
Okay, perfect. And so she's just like, okay, all right, like I think I got this, and then she's just like, so like is this like a thing that like we used to do?
Oh, yeah.
And the alien was like, yeah, we gave it up 3,000 years ago though, because it was just like unnecessary.
Too much.
Yeah. So Kim was just like, okay, like I'll give it a try, and she even says like, kissing was fun. I want to experience like what sex is. So like Aykroyd's waiting like under the covers with his shirt off, and Kim comes out like in her slip that she's wearing under her dress, and like the wind's blowing and her hair is just like
It's amazing.
doing this, and like she has like a bathroom light glow,
Mhm.
and she's like slow motion like sexy walking, and he's like, and Dan Aykroyd just freaking out because he's just like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
how did I get so lucky
He's
in my
so
life?
stoked, and he's just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Like, am I on drugs? Am I fucking
It's amazing.
dreaming?
So then they have sex. She's super into it. There's actual fireworks in the room. And then she goes downstairs and kind of explores the house a little bit more, like reads some books, watches some movies. And then they wake up in the morning and he proposes.
Yes. Yes.
Because she's like, I'm going to go back. She says she's from Holland.
Yeah.
Or she says she's from the Netherlands. Meaning, like, other lands.
Yeah.
And he takes it as Holland, obviously. And she's like, yeah, I have to actually go back home. And he's like, no, don't go home. Like, let's just get married.
Yeah.
I love you. And she's like, I'll be right back.
No.
And she goes and, like, consults the council.
Yeah, she leaves the house in a bathrobe with an old-timey airplane hat on, like from the 40s. And
No
she
shoes.
just marches down the street. And she's like, I have to consult the council. So how she can contact the council, she goes to a baseball stadium.
Oh, that's right.
And like summons them, and it's these 3 dudes with like long, like with some with beards, long white flowing robes. If I'm
It looks
remembering
like they're
correctly.
wearing, like, ponchos.
It does. It does look like gauzy ponchos.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, look, like he says that if I leave, he'll be so devastated that he won't be able to concentrate like on his work, or like his passions for other things like science will die. What should I do? And they're like, well, obviously stay and marry him and get his secrets. And she's just like, but I don't know what marriage is. Like, can you teach me what marriage is? So they're like, hold on, we'll consult our Earth manual. So they flip and they're like, oh, it's when he goes off to fight the Turks and you have to wear a lock. And then they're like, wait, no, that's too old. And it's like, it's where you serve him dinner every night and martinis. And so just, and you have to have sex. And she's like, oh,
Done.
I like sex.
We
I'm
will
gonna
get
do
married.
that.
So they get married. On the wedding day, Ron, the brother, is concerned. I can't quite remember why. Is it just because it's really quick?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
you literally met her yesterday.
And then the daughter walks by the room where she's getting ready, and Celeste is drinking battery fluid from batteries.
And talking to her purse, but Allison can't see the purse, so she just thinks she's talking to herself and eating batteries, which,
Fair.
if you see that, yeah, that's fair. Tell an adult. Like,
Yeah.
tell your father.
So she does. He doesn't believe her. And they get married.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd wears an all powder blue suit with a roughly cummerbund. She wears the most epically 80s poofy dress with a heart cut out in the back, like showing her entire back.
It's awful.
It's but it's 88.
But amazing.
It's 1988.
So then it's the next night where Jesse's going on the date with Seth Green's character.
Yeah, it's literally the next day.
And it's super cute because yet again they give us this nice line where she's about to go on the date. She comes down. She's like, "How do I look?" She's like, "I hope he likes me." And Celeste says, "I hope you like him."
Yeah,
Which is such a nice reframe of like, yeah, man, like, cool if he likes you, but like, I hope that like you have a good time and you're fucking into him, as opposed to worrying whether or not he likes you.
right. Like,
And I just love that so much.
more of that shit. Like, I mean, when I just think about all the other movies that were being made, like, around that time, like, you know, like, Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles, where, like, there were all these, like, shitty dude characters, and, like, all the, like, it's just such a refreshing take on an 80s, like comedy, you know?
He came and brought her a gift as opposed to pronouncing her name wrong.
Yes!
What
Like,
a fucking concept.
What a fucking concept.
Then Carl Sagan calls Steve. Well, it's not Carl Sagan. It's the bag using Carl Sagan's voice.
Yeah, who calls Steve's old boss who fired him and convinces him to restart the program and hire Steve back because he's like a brilliant astrophysicist in the field and he was an idiot for firing him. The bag does a really convincing job and chooses to hire him back. But meanwhile, Kim is trying to essentially free up all of Dan Aykroyd's time so he can focus only on his work. So she decides to cook meals so he won't ever have to think about how to eat. So she goes to a diner after driving his car like a bumper car, as Jill very aptly put it. And she goes into a diner and she steals the menu off a table and then goes to the grocery store and buys over $400 worth of food, which even now is an astronomical amount.
And she tries to pay with a diamond.
Yeah, like a huge, like the size of diamond that I would need on a ring to get married.
Right.
My standards. Oh my God, Ridley, I know you want food so bad. I'm so sorry. I should have brought dinner. I didn't think. And then the cashier's like, "No, man, like we take money here." And so she pulls out $1,000 bill.
Which doesn't exist.
And she's just like, yeah, do you have something smaller? So she pulls out a tiny $1,000 bill.
It's so great.
It's perfect. It's really good. So
and she goes home and makes
everything
on their menu, including like a turkey and a ham.
Yeah.
That was a weird noise.
that was a hunger burp.
Burgers, pancakes, literally everything, and then brings him a martini. Asks Jessie if she wants a martini. She's like,
the morning.
No. And also in the process, Jessie saw her drinking the battery from Steve's car and grabbing one of the pans from the, like, straight out of the oven with her bare hands.
Yeah, like, so Allison is losing her fucking mind at what the fuck's going on with this lady, and rightfully so. So while they're digging into literally 1,000 years worth of food, Steve's boss calls him and hires him back on the spot. He accepts the job offer, but he doesn't want to go in right away because it's supposed to be their honeymoon. And he's like, I want to clean the house and get it ready for you. And she's just like, no, I'll clean the house. You go to work. And he refuses, so she's like, arm wrestle me for it. The winner gets to stay home. And
she wins instantly.
Instantly. Like, there's not even a contest. And so he goes off to work. And she literally cleans the house at the speed of light.
Yeah. And Jesse sees her and is freaked the fuck out after all of these things. So she calls her dad. And she's like, Dad, the house is on fire. I need you to come home now. So he heads home. In the meantime, the Bag and Celeste are like, you cannot tell your dad. Because Jesse also opens the bag or something, and the alien eye comes out. And they, put Jesse on the ceiling, take the dog's bark away. And the dad eventually comes home, and they're like, don't tell your dad. And she tells her dad everything, and he's like,
we need to get you into counseling.
No.
Is what he says.
But then she runs out of the house because she's so upset. She gets on her bike, and she almost gets hit. Well, she gets hit by a car, but Celeste uses her bag energy or something to, make it so she goes through the car without getting hurt. And her dad sees all of this, and Jesse's like, oh my god, you blew your cover to save my life. And she's like, yeah. And her dad's like, I don't know what to do with this. And now Jesse, doesn't want her to leave, because she only has, 12 hours left on Earth. And Celeste goes into the bedroom to talk to Steve. And she's like, I need you to save my planet. And he's like, well, if I save your planet, then you have to leave. And she's like, but if I stay, then my whole planet is destroyed. I need you to save it. And so they're both really feeling torn. And also, he, makes this sandwich. And he's like, listen, there's a lot of really good things about Earth. You don't eat there. You don't have sex there. Things are really great. And he's like, you really haven't eaten anything, right? She's like, no, I'm good. He's like, no, taste this sandwich. And it's I don't know, a bologna sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's nothing impressive. Because he made himself a sad man sandwich and is drinking whiskey straight out of the bottle because he's so depressed about his situation. Yeah. So, it's not an impressive sandwich. It's not a Dagwood.
It's got mayo, so it's spicy.
Yeah, super spicy.
But he's like, if you want my secrets, you'll eat my sandwich. Which I think is one of my favorite lines of the movie.
I also wrote it down, yeah.
So she eats it, she's like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. And so they're really at an impasse. They don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
But they know they don't have much time. And it starts to pour and there starts to be lightning. They're like, we have to go to the lab now because this is our last chance. The Bag is saying that once they save their planet, that they need to destroy Earth. All of Earth is going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And additionally, the Bag calls up Ron, Steve's brother, and he's like, and acts like she's Celeste and flirts with him. She's like, I'm in love with you. Can you come to the lab? And can you pick up my bag on the way? I totally forgot it. Thanks so much. Bye.
Because Celeste doesn't like the Bag anymore after how the Bag treated Allison by putting her on the ceiling and silencing the dog. And then obviously when she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna blow up Earth. So right. Celeste is like, fuck this bag, I'm leaving this bag at home.
Fuck this bag.
Fuck this bag. So the Bag convinces Jon Lovitz to come and pick it up and take it to the lab. And so
he's super stoked.
So they get to the lab and his Dan Aykroyd's assistant is still there. Hey, Radar. They figure out how to use a metal conductor to create that big transmission that they did before.
Hey, Radar.
And while they're doing that, Jon Lovitz bursts in with the bag. Super fucking excited. No, Ridley. No. Come here, handsome boy. Come here.
Everything's falling apart, you guys.
Oh,